Okay, and we continue Shmirat Shabbat Kehilchasai. We just finished the incredible, famous sif about bottle caps. And we move on to sif Yudit Tes on page 122, page Kof Chaf Beis. Says the Shemiras Shabbos. Now, a lot of these cases, you have to be wary in the application, as the sefer was published many years ago. So let's see. Also, lahafar the pas, you're not allowed to separate the pas, the strip. Also, mechamer mitachti, that's made from metal, a mechaber that connects the soiger and closes as a mechseh, the cover shall kufsa of the container, imav kufsa atzma, with the container itself. So it seems like he's removing some sort of metal strip that disconnects the cover from a container. He says, K'mai b'kufsat kveker. Now, kufsat kveker, it's like Quaker oats. So, I mean, the little research I did is our Quaker oats don't have this nowadays. It has a different type of cover. Some of them have maybe a metal film, but there it's just attached by glue. What he's referring to is he's separating A from B, and it's creating the cover. That's the issue. And it wasn't recognizable, like its own thing. What? That's what it sounds like. It sounds similar. Like, I think we have this in some of our plastic containers. There's like a strip that you pull around that takes it off, and then that creates the cover. Now, that would be an application of this, because before you took off that plastic strip, there was, what? The milk, yeah, the milk would be a good example. And I think some like the pickle containers have it. Gum? Oh, the tray for gum. Yeah. The kosher gum? The I know what you're talking about. And I stand by what I said. So some of them are kosher. No, the bazooka ones are kosher. So the bazooka, Baruch Hashem. But either way, just be careful and cautious of gum. Grad, a lot of them have naked sherim, and people don't realize. That's the only reason I'm saying this, because I think it's all sold in the store. It's all fine. No, they import them all here, and people don't chap that. A lot of them are a problem. But either way, lemaisa, that's a perfect example. When you pull off that thing, you're creating the cover for the first time. That is usher. Now, when you're separating a milsa, the cover turns into a kli that you could use it now like a cover. And he says in Ara Ayin Dalid, he says that which Shlomo Zalman says in Michal Shleimo to be mekel, Diber bini pakakshel plastic, v'halikam matechas askinan. So we have to know. I don't know. On the Hara he says davka metal, and but if it would be plastic, it would be okay. And when mirsa asui plastic, what was Sif Yirches? That was the bottle caps. Now, why in the bottle caps was he mekel? For two reasons. Reason number one is that it was nicker. Reason number two is that the cap was a cap before it went on. So, but in these plastic things, I mean, listen, when you rip off that thing, you mamish feel like you're making something. I don't think it's nicker, so I'll leave it as a tzarech iyon. I don't really know the answer, but that's how we'll leave it. But definitely that would be a case of a potential problem, even according to Rav Shlomo Zalman Arbach. Sif Chaf. If your kid's bottle has something stuck in the nipple, you're not allowed to make that hole or to widen it. There's nothing to eat, Pasha, he's starving. Then you let ask you. Now, Vachina din is a very common case. What's a malchayo? We had this already. Very good, Baruch Hashem, a salt shaker. Uchadaima, same thing. You're not allowed to. People do this all the time. You take a toothpick and you stick it through the top. Sounds like he's going to be machmir, but then he continues. Avol muter lahasir zachomer aseisim es nekev hakayim kavar. So you're allowed to remove the stoppage. So what are you not allowed to do? Why would you not be allowed to take a toothpick and? Why would you not be allowed to what? Because you're creating an opening. It's a makabeh patish. Makabeh patish. I don't know. Over here, in the beginning, when he talks about the nipple opening, he says, even already was a hole. If you want to widen it, it's a problem. Kol Mokaim, the Sarach HaChlasi is Mekel. I understand. I don't know. What's the case of the salt shaker if not? What else are you doing aside from moving something from the hole? Widen the salt shaker? Well, what's this salt shaker made out of? Yeah, it's plastic. Plastic nipple, you could understand. You stick something in and you wiggle it around. You're widening it. Your salt shaker, again, I don't know. Maybe you had a plastic salt shaker. I don't know. Again, we'll leave it as a shtickle sarach ian. It sounds like, again, just to tell you what it sounds like he's saying that if you're just sticking to the toothpick to pop something out of the hole, he'll be mekel. It's not so simple because in the world of baina bekalim, I don't know. Sounds like he's going to be mekel, and we'll leave it at that. Sev chav alf. Motov dach bakbuk shesagu b'pekak keter. What's a pekak keter? A beer cap. Oy pekak sham, a cork. You're allowed to open up a beer or a cork on Shabbos. Afilu ba'ezes kli amyud lekach a petchon malchetz uchiyitze boy. You're allowed to pop it open, or you're allowed to use a cork opener. That's all fine. Now he did not talk about the Tubergs, and I don't know the answer to those. I know the answer to those, but now well, let's talk about it together. This is Mamash Sugi over here. It doesn't go back on. The Tubergs, the pull tabs, plastic. It doesn't go back on. No, because that goes back to what we said before. Is that very good. So the answer is Lafir Shem Zalman it's mutter. Lafi the Machmir on bottle caps it's ulcer. Why? You're utilizing the perforated lines to rip, which Shem Zalman is not concerned with over here, as long as you get out of the Asiyas Kli problem, which for a bottle cap he's not nervous as long as it's created. Volume on those you can't reuse it. You just pull it off and it's done. There's no cap, right? Am I correct? Am I wrong? Can't reuse it. So l'chayra, it would be okay according to Shem Zalman. The Machmirim, of course, will be machmir in that case. But in this case, everyone is mekel. And a pekak sham, a cork, is the quintessential case that l'chayra, everyone in the world holds its mutter. So much so that Ramesha and that hallmark tshuva that we quoted, which he said everything should be open before Shabbos, is like the highest levels, like even corks. Meaning even something which is mamish mutter, l'mais is a market TV machmer. That's what he said over there. Yesh ladin, some may ask, like, what's even the chumrah? Okay, but now he continues, and this is a big problem. The Emreisha Baku Mitzvah Shaiva, which often happens, is wax covering it. Chadaime, Sha'isi, there are letters, Tzirim Mutba'is Ba, and there are pictures on it. Yimachik is Isis as a Tzirim Mutba'is. Before Shabbos, you have to erase the letters. V'ral El Siv Yigimel. It's a big problem. I honestly, I don't know why the kashrus agencies, that's where they decide to put their kashrus on the top of the cork. I don't know why, but l'chayr it's a problem. The one thing I'll mention, it depends what type of cork you're using. Cork opener you're using. Often you could circumvent the, if it's an OU, often you could get it like in between or get it on the side. Number one, but you have to look. He tells you look at Sif Gimel, which is in Meichik. Yesh Ladin, what are you doing in the cork? Let's just think together. You're putting a hole and then it comes out. When it comes out, did anything get lessened? No. So you're just widening it. L'chayra, we have to learn Meichik, but l'chayra, it chips off. Okay. But l'chayra, the Lafia Ramesha is a chiddush when it comes to Kesef and Meichik, and he holds that even if you're going to cut off part of a letter, if it's still recognizable, the letter that's there, he holds it's not a problem of Meichik. So l'chayra on our cork, not less than that. But avada, the answer is try to circumvent the letter. Chav Beis. Mutter l'nakiv is a mitzvah shel sansanet riba. Riba is like caramel. Sansanet is a jar. You're allowed to make a hole in the cover of a jar of caramel or shimurim or other types of preservatives. You want to get rid of the pressure of the air. So I guess they had, our jars like this are more like metal, so it's not glass or hard metal, but I guess he has, let's say, a plastic jar that you have a hard time opening it because it's too tight. So apparently, I never tried this, apparently if you stab the side of it and you let out the air, it's now going to be easier to open the top. I have no clue. Yeah. Okay. No clue you're talking about, but okay. Okay, good. Apparently someone else agrees with the science. I will not argue. That's what he says. Good. Lamaisa. He says, the chiddush he's saying is, one would say that making the hole is for a purpose, so maybe it's a problem. He's being makel. Chav Gimel. Kedin Shabbos. Now, Chav Gimel is very important. People mess this up all the time. I actually, Erev Sukkot one year, I got the call frantic. The Yena guy that I told you about that someone yelled at him for opening cans and told him that it's the worst aver in the world. True, Rosh Hashanah was Mekel, if you remember. But that guy called me up Erev Sukkot, frantic, like, Rabbi, please, can I open up cans for Yom Tov? Is there at least a heter? Ma'aseh Yom Tov and Shabbos, there's really no chilik. There's really no chilik. And not really no chilik. Sifchav Kimmel. Kedin Shabbos Chol Din Mamos Karm Lehel. Kach Adin Yom Tov. It's the same din. Vein lift hayach and you should open cold kufsa. It's like a chavilah and look of kobachet. You should open. You should make a whole kufsa. You make such a kufsa. Ein lacht chesbia pitma shabak book. You should not make a whole vein chain. Ein likshar kol kesher alatira. You should attire not, underdo not. Lelavi chot leftayach lifufay to wrap it or unwrap it. Vein hatem chalila elo b'fanav zikaron el cholachem kaimai. There's no difference. It's not one of the blachas that were more mekel on Yom Tov. Now, could be on Yom Tov just like becomes a bigger tzairech, and I can hear maybe one who takes on a chumrah to be machmer connected with Zalman like Rav Elyashiv, and maybe on a Yom Tov it's difficult. Okay, fine. Maybe there are heterim in the world of Amir La'akum, perhaps more on Yom Tov than on Shabbos. That's maybe, or maybe you're just around more Goyim on Yom Tov Chleis. But Lamaisa, the Etzem Din, Zakar Shem Zalman is the same thing. You messed up. You opened something up B'derech Asur, and everyone's wondering, like, what was Shalom Zalman Machmer on? Do you have any case that's conclusively Asur? Yeah, you open up the metal cap, of grape juice. You open that up on Shabbos. So Shalom Zalman holds that's Asur. So what's the din? You let it drink the grape juice? You have to drink the grape juice? Kavur La'el, Minisbar Lo Shas L'Gedin. You're allowed to eat it. Now, why are you allowed to eat it? So on the bottom, he just sends you. He says, sends you to the chapter Parak Yod. Sends you to a case of opening up a fridge. You open up a fridge, you realize there was a light on. Does that answer up the food? He handles over there Shemiras Shabbos. He gets involved in Goyim. V'chulu. Shemiras Shabbos. I mean, you're not explaining why there would be no Shemiras Shabbos. You're saying a chilik, but why would that make it not Shemiras Shabbos? Shemiras Shabbos is when an Isser is done, we forbid the thing you did the Isser on. So the Isser was done on this item, so maybe I can again, Nachama, I understand. You're creating a chilik. You're saying this is on the container, not on the contents, but not right. The case is, he discussed the case of Haitzah. You transport something from place A to place B. Shaila is there a Shemiras Shabbos over there? That's the case which is Dimyin. But over there, we're Pashtas Mekel. What? By Haitzah. Malacha Gra. Correct. But there's a better heter over here. Chayr is a very simple heter over here. Why is there a simple heter over here? Oh, because there's a way to do a heter. In Kamat, every case, even in my case, the metal bottle cap, stab the top and open it. We're Mekel on that. So Kamat in every case of getting out the contents, Kamat. I say kamat just because I don't know. Maybe someone's gonna find it, but mechudesh like a case. The Pashas every case you could have done a beheter. Therefore, there is no Shemiras Shabbos on it. Chav vav. Also, let's lay. She's not allowed to separate. Kol niyar chavav. We just did chavei. No, we didn't. I'm sorry. Skip chavei. Okay, there's a Freudian slip. Motalicious bakwa b'mayim karim. You're allowed to soak a bottle in cold water, to cool off the liquid, right? Yeah, like we're all taking our bottles and putting them in, someone say, in a cooler with freezing cold water. Okay, great. So you're allowed to do that? He says, yes. What's the concern? Like, what's wrong? The wrapper, the paper, which by the way in our world doesn't exist, because our world, the paper is plastic. Give me a case where a bottle has a paper label. The plastic? And a bottle? I don't know why he's having a bottle of beer. No, let's not get involved. Why is it? No, we don't need to know about your drinking habits. What do you say? Since Rosh Chodesh Adar Aleph, you have a cup of wine every single day. But wine, yayin. Nes nas like the yayin. Those who follow. Okay, interesting. Either way, in getting drunk on Purim is supposed to be done with wine or no? Shulchan Aruch says yeah, so you could argue, but should we pass like Shulchan Aruch like the Rambam? Well, the Rambam next in the world. The Rambam would pass like Visikara nowadays. Wine labels are. Wine labels. Okay. Either way, whatever the case is, Rosh Zalman is Mekel. He says, if the paper on the bottle is still connected, af mutter asira, you're even allowed to remove it. Now, why is it mutter? Stam, everyone will appreciate this. Look at Ara Pei Hey. Chavra Pei Hey. Chavra Pei. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll learn a pay. I'll look at pay myself. In Ara Pei Hey, he quotes some Mizalmin, in which he says something that you've all waited a million years for, in which he says, Daf ba'ifin dahavi psikresha. Says we call makam inel psikresha tulay ichbatle b'disharina disharinan. And the answer is never applies on your own. If Rosham Zalman says that you could apply it, what's the difference between psikresha tulay ichbisle and psikresha tulay nichale? Good question. In the back over here, actually, he has a fascinating, I think it's a 3-page, call it an essay, yeah. Over here in the very end, this ha'ara, I think one of these are is all about Sikresha. Somewhere over here. Maybe it's in the beginning. I don't remember what it is. Either way, the beginning? It's in the beginning? Okay, very good. Either way, he says it's mutter. He continues, he says also you're not doing a piyatayim. Stam, it's more of a grammatic action. V'chulu, v'chulu. Chav, vav. Aser litzlish kol ni'ar nylon meglil ch'daima. You're not allowed to rip any paper or nylon from the roll. Ubechlal zan, including this is ni'ar tifa, umagavot ni'ar, all types of papers and toilet papers and tissues and whatnot. Sakiot, amapot nylon. Which now is the point that we give the public disclaimer that a lot of the garbage bags come attached. And it is also, it's also to rip them on Shabbos. So which ones? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we're in America, so many people use their Kirkland from Costco. We'll say those are not a problem. Those are not a problem. Those are? No, those are not a problem. Absolutely not. No, that's a different secret we have to learn, and that's not a problem, which we'll get to. But Lamaisa, we're talking about now the two bags connected. That is aser. Bein b'makom anikov, bein shaloi b'makom anikov. Kam also litzos shniyar migalil bezras hasafa hamishunenet omedes lekach. You're also not allowed to separate the niyar with the lip that it's used for. Sif chaf zayin. Kakshel bakbuk, a thermos uchadaime, the cover of a thermos, mutala otzfai bepitat bad kteiloitem. You're allowed to surround it in order to seal it in. B'derech zu as a bakbuk yoiser. Ach mutar lasa is kain rak im amnana bakbuk inay moli mashkin ad lisfasoy. Now this is a different issue. This is an issue with bishul and atamana, that if the water goes all the way to the top, then it's going to be a problem on atamana, which one day we'll learn, and we'll figure out what exactly that means. Also, let's go to oh, no, he's saying a different issue. I don't know where you have bad in your thermos. I don't know what the case is, but apparently you wrapped your thermos in an undershirt, and therefore you're going to run into schita issues. Ayin sham. And we conclude with chavches, bakmik thermos shemuvreges olav kais. You know the old school. Everyone remember that Rebbe? He had like the cup on top of the thermos, screws on the top. Yeah, nostalgic. Baruch Hashem. Motor lefayischayol l'shav l'sagil. That open and close it. Avol. Because you would say, gishmak achab. You open it, you made a kli. You made a cup. Says his mother. Avol also lefteich lizkar zabarag shal mechsach chitzoini shal gufa bakbuk. Kain derech lefteich lizkar baraga zu elu mizman lizman. Now I don't know what the case is. He's talking about something that you only take it apart time to time, then it's aser. He's saying a chiddush in the world of makbeh patish. Again, I don't know what the case is. What does it mean, zman lizman? He also doesn't explain how long you keep this thing closed for a day, a week, a month, a year. It's not exactly clear. But this is a makbeh patish. But he is saying a chiddush in makbeh patish. He's saying even if something was once made, but then it stays. I'll tell you another example that might be a first cousin to this. Couch pillows. Couch pillows, the place can discuss that maybe to zip it on or to button it up or to velcro it closed. Maybe it's makbeh patish, because once you put it on, it stays that way la'olam va'ed, or until the next wash, which is, I don't know, 3 years later, Pesach. So that might be a similar case of the makbeh patish. Mazel tov, weiter.